Hey guys, welcome to Limmies Lifestyle. Today I'm going to cook pork rack roast. So what I'm going to do is sous vide the pork rack. For those of you who don't know what sous vide is, I will show you in a second. It's basically a accurate way of cooking a meat in a hot water bath, and it regulates its temperature so you don't go over the temperatures, you don't overcook the meat. Okay guys, so this is what a sous vide looks like. It's basically got a machine over there that regulates the temperature, and it circulates the water around, and I'll be putting the pork inside this water bath, of course in a sealed container, and basically it would cook the meat to the right temperature. So you can see I've set the temperature to 73 degrees Celsius. So that is the temperature that I want to reach. Again, I don't want to go over because then the pork will get too hard. So this is basically what a sous vide is. Okay, so what we have here is a pork rack, a 5-pin pork rack. This is fairly special today. It's a Kurobuta pork. It's quite hard to find, and the weight of it is about 1.5 kilos. Find it just nice for a family of 4 or 5. Each one gets a nice cut. You can see there's a skin on there. We're going to get the crackling as well. So because it's quite thick, that's why I would like to sous vide this meat. I'm going to do some rub on it before I seal it and put it in the sous vide. So here we have half a teaspoon of mixed herbs, pretty much a mix of all sorts of herbs: rosemary, thyme, oregano. Here I have 1/4 teaspoon white pepper and 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper and a full teaspoon of raw garlic. So I'm just going to give it a good rub all over it, and then I'm going to put it in a sealed bag, and then we'll put it in the sous vide bar. I've put all the dry rub on it, so all the pepper, garlic and mixed herbs on there. That's just going to help me remove some of the porky smell and give it a nice aroma. Later I will have another marinade before I grill it, so that would be the last minute. That has salt in it. I don't want to put salt on here at the moment because it will toughen the meat up. So I'm going to put it in this bag, and we're going to seal it and then into the bar. So this bag here is a BPA free bag. It's cooking grade, so it can withstand heat, and it's safe to use for cooking. And you'll see it, we'll have to seal it with this machine here. Yep, so the meat is in the bag, as you can see, and I'm now going to seal it. So here's the meat. It's sealed. You can see the machine did a heat press, took out the air, and it's all sealed in there, so it's like a vacuum. So the sous vide bar has reached the temperature I want it to be, which is 73 degrees Celsius. I'm going to dump this pork in here and basically let it do its thing for 4 hours. Alright, so 4 hours is up. I'm going to take the pork out of the sous vide. That's all done. I'm just letting it to cool on its own, and then I'll take it out of the packaging, and then I will start the drying process of the skin so I can make it nice and crispy. Okay, now that it's cooled down, so it took about 15 to 20 minutes to cool down, I have taken it out the packaging and used a paper towel to pat dry. So the next process is to dehydrate the skin so that we get a nice crackling. I'm going to use a similar method to my roast pork, my crispy roast pork recipe, just using salt to dehydrate, and before I do that I'm going to pierce the skin and score the skin so it'll be nice and crispy. Okay, so now that the piercing has been done, I'm just going to put salt, rub salt all over the skin to give it that crackling effect. While we wait for it to dehydrate, I'm just going to slice half an onion, and I'm going to line the base of the pan so it forms like a bed. It just sits on the onions. It'll give you a little bit more flavor in the pan as well. So just like that, nice and simple. Okay, so you can see that the dehydration process has started, so I'm just going to wipe the water off, and I'm going to do it on the other side as well. Okay, so this side is done now. Again, just wipe off the excess salt, dry it, and then we're going to put a rub on it, which I'll explain in the next step. I'm going to use this rub and put it all over it. So what this is basically garlic powder, sugar, salt, rice flour, turmeric powder, dried chives, dried parsley. So just give it a good generous rub across. Okay, and then we're just going to put it on this bed of onions, and we're going to put it in the oven. Today I'll be using the barbecue. Okay guys, time to put the pork in the barbecue. I'm getting the heat up to 250 degrees, so it's nice and hot. That will give the pork crackling. I don't have to worry about cooking the meat, like how long to cook the meat, because I have sous vide it for 4 hours at 73 degrees Celsius. What that means is the pork is already cooked, so we can actually eat it like this now. But what I'm just doing it in the barbecue is to finish the pork, so that we get a nice crackling on there and nice roast barbecued aroma. Here we go. So I'm going to roast it for about half an hour. I'll check every 10 minutes just to see how we're going, so that we make sure we don't burn the skin as well. So good to check every 10 minutes. Next important question, what drinks am I going to have it with today? I am matching it with a Margaret River Chardonnay, an inexpensive wine, Robert Oatley, 2018 vintage, the signature series. So that would be my selection for today. Nice acidity and mid-weight, mid-bodied wine. It should cut through the fattiness of the pork belly, and complexity of the wine should also match the flavors of the pork. Okay, so 10 minutes is up. Let's have a peek. Looking beautiful. You can start to see its crackle starting to form, which is excellent. That's what we want. The heat was hovering around the 250 degrees, so I'll monitor that closely as well. I will check in another 8 minutes this time, because I don't want to overburn that piece of crackling. Okay, so 8 minutes it's up. Let's have a look. Yeah, beautiful. Crackling starting to happen. What I'm happy with. I'm just going to leave it for another 5 more minutes. There's a little bit more crackling to be done, but I'm going to try and maintain the heat to around 220 degrees. Nothing more than that, because you'll overdo it. Okay, so 5 minutes is up. A total of 23 minutes so far. Let's have a peek. Yep, definitely happening. Not too worried about that black bits. We can certainly scrape that off, but we don't want to overdo that. So pretty happy with it. I reckon I'm going to give it a couple more minutes, and then that's it. Alright, so a total of 25 minutes. let's have a good look. Yeah, happy with that one. So I'm going to turn off the barbecue now. Just going to scrape off a bit of that slight charredness, and then I'm going to take it inside.